What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Manifesting Your Desires. It is Antonio checking in. And today, I want to talk to you guys about, becoming committed to your change, becoming committed to your new life, becoming committed to your new being. Because like me, I'm in my 30s. I'm 33. I don't care about telling my age. It is what it is. But one thing I noticed is that even me being in my 30s, of course, my 20s, I had a ton of fun. But at the same time, in the midst of all that fun, I just realized unknowingly I laid the groundwork for a lot of habits that I have now. Like the good habits, I'm not gonna lie. Like even in the midst of my 20s, partying, wilding, just having a good time to me. I still had a lot of time to experience solitude. I had a lot of time to be in nature. A lot of my 20s, I was living with my great grandmother in her basement. So my grandmother, my great grandmother, she was vegetarian, so I experienced a certain type of health. Just having that time to myself, that's when I began to meditate. I think I built my first altar in my great grandmother's basement. I would just go to the park and just exercise. So even though had a lot of social things going on in my 20s, I also had a lot of solitude and time to work on me. And unknowingly, now that I'm in my 30s and I'm realizing, like, for me being in my 30s is about making a commitment to this lifelong change. Because one thing I notice in life is never too late, but I notice once people wait after a certain time in their 30s, it becomes a little more stressful, I guess. And for me, unknowingly, I've laid the foundation for certain things in my life in my 20s. Like in my 20s, I was fasting. Like I said, I was eating healthy. I was coming across so many different spiritual practices. And this all was happening in the midst of me just partying and wilding. So it was like I experienced both worlds. But now that I'm in my 30s, it's more like of a discipline thing. It's more of a, hey, this is where I'm going, my future, my life, my growth, my self-development. And you just notice the difference. And some habits that I had in my 20s, they've grown into my 30s. And I was like, some of them just don't fit the persona now. Like, so it's like, okay, it is what it is. But now I'm just learning how to take more accountability for my actions, and I'm learning how detrimental a habit can be. So I'm like, yo, if those habits that I had in my 20s, if they made it into my 30s, so what if today or these days, these months, these years that I'm in my 30s, I'm doing my subconscious programming, I'm deepening my meditation, I'm focusing more on my health, I'm focusing more on my relationships, I'm setting these standards, raising the bar. So 10 years from now, at 43, I'm like, yo, I remember when I was 30 and I had set the foundation for this, and now it's paying off. Not saying it's going to take 10 years, but I'm just rewinding the time on how certain habits have entered my life into my 30s, but certain habits now just don't serve me no more. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting a grip of this thing called life. So that's why I encourage you guys to make a commitment, especially those who are like around my age or and beyond. Because it's like your 20s, it's confusing, man. Your 20s, just enjoy that, man, because it's like a part of you want to just get that chaos and chaotic confusion out. Because looking back at my 20s, I was like, yo, I seen some pictures with me in my 20s. I was like, yo, that's crazy, because I was just looking like bad. Like if I showed pictures of me in my 20s, y'all like, nah, no way. But just looking back and thinking now, like, okay, so these are the days that I'm setting the groundwork for my future endeavors. And that's the one thing I like about me being in my 30s. It's a type of commitment. It's a certain type of discipline that I've came across in this definitely purpose related, and it's more so of, hey man, this is what I stand on. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what it is. And if a person not agreeing with it, if you don't like it, it's like, hey, I gotta live my life because I refuse to go through life 10, 20 years from now and still struggling with the same things that I had going on in my 20s, because then that would be stagnant. That's not growth. So the good thing about me in my 30s is like more of a commitment, more of a discipline, and more of a just, honing in and focusing in on what I actually love to do was my purpose. And like I said, my art and this channel, learning the subconscious mind and putting my experience out here and being a guide or inspiration to others, that's definitely part of my purpose. And I feel like as humans, all of our purpose consists of, helping each other, being that beacon of light for the next person, being that guide. It's not so much of somebody telling you what to do or you need to do this, you don't need to do that. But through your personal experience, you start to realize what works for you and what don't. And I think it's all about coming to grips of what works for you, because we look at the masses and we're like, man, but they doing this, they doing that. And I don't know why. It might work for them like that, but in your heart when you look in the mirror that XYZ is not working for you. So don't sit here and try to force something to work for you when it clearly does not work for you. So that's why I personally made a commitment to continuously reprogram my subconscious. That's why I make a commitment to even upload on this channel, because I know no matter what type of life you want to live, it all starts with a programming. So every day I'm consistently doing the work. I've made a commitment to myself to, usher in a whole new being. And only because I feel like I've personally procrastinated over the years, and now I've come to face my true self and just being real with myself. Is like, all right, Tonio, a lot of that stuff you done did in your 20s, your earlier 30, even though I'm still like early 30s, 33, but early 30, 31, it's like, now okay, this what slows you down, this what helps you. Don't sit here and try to justify what slow you down because it's what you're familiar with. No, that doesn't work for you, and just be real and keep it moving. And that's a pretty tough pill to swallow, because a lot of things that hold me back is what I'm familiar with. And of course, the things that I know will help me excel is like the darkness, and it's like I'm not familiar with, but I have to embrace that so I can grow, because I am going to continue to grow, and I just want you guys to grow as well. So let's all make a commitment, no matter how tough this road get, because, life does get a little challenging, obstacles happen. But let's make a commitment to hold ourselves accountable to growth, Like I say, man, y'all study the subconscious mind. See how that is controlling your life, and study ways on how you can reprogram that, and study ways on how you can just deepen in your relationship with self. Study ways on how you can just grow internally, continuously study. But don't do what I did and just study and barely apply. And now you just got all this information and now you not executing. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm actually executing, because I've gathered so much information and so much knowledge. And I had little experiences here and there that's like, oh, yo, this worked. But I never stuck to it, because I will always go back to the familiar side or what I was used to. So I'm encouraging you guys, after you study, go apply. If you don't believe anything I'm saying, go research the subconscious. This is not nothing I'm making up. This is pure facts. But at some point in your life, I encourage you guys to make a commitment so you can better yourselves, better the lives of those around you, even touch people in your community, touch people all across the world. But first, it starts with you. So make that commitment to make a change, no matter how hard and how crazy and treacherous the journey may seem. Just know that it's all a programming. You feel what I'm saying? So make that commitment to change your inner world. Or just change something in your life and watch the domino effect, and stick to it and keep growing and keep going and keep going and keep growing and keep going. You feel what I'm saying? So I really appreciate y'all, man. Go make that commitment. Stay up, stay down. Peace out.